Scott Gray, former defensive coordinator with the Sault Steelers and Storm. So I think years, and I'm not 100% sure on this, probably 2007 probably 2006, that era, somewhere around then to about 2011 or 12. And then way before, a couple years from when if we started back in 96, probably in 99 or 2000, something like that. Two kind of tours of duties with the Storm and then the Steelers. Oh, geez. That's probably the best part of the experience is some of the guys we coached. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to miss somebody here, but there was quality players. But a couple of standouts, again, I think your biggest standout from a quality and talent and longevity, I think synonymous with the Steelers still involved is Brandon Lewis. I think Mr. Time has not paid attention to him because he continues to play, but he was great. A lot of guys along the way. In the early days, the Matti Tuckers, the Scotty Booths, even going into the later years and having the Russ Moyles, the Jason Burnettis, and all the quality. And there's way too many guys. Stu Waite. These are some of the older guys that play, but some of the younger talent, like a guy like Russ Moyle. I remember when he was an 18-year-old kid starting out with the Steelers after he finished at White Pines and then playing well into his 30s in the 2000s and the mid-2010, that period, and being part of all those teams. Really too many to answer, Jay, but at the end of the day, all quality guys, like guys that were coming up from Southern Ontario, not living in the Sioux, playing on weekends. Gordy Campbell from the American side, Tommy McCoy early on with the American side, some of those guys. And then your Adam Rosses, the linebackers, your Jamie Kennedys, who would come up on weekends out of Barrie where he was a teacher and play. But just a lot of quality guys, and I've missed a ton, but really some of the experiential guys is the lifers like the Brandon Lewises, the Matti Tuckers, and those guys. And then on the offensive side of the ball, your Billy Georges and everybody else from a Jason Biagini to a Luke Tenhagen to in my last couple of years, like a Fred Castleman. Some of these guys that all have played storied high school careers, storied careers after high school and coming out of the Sioux, multiple guys playing university, and then coming back and playing senior men's ball representing the city. So all good guys. And the list, you could probably take 3 hours to discuss this list, and everybody has their little story. And they just brought their hard work and their ethics to the table, and they brought talent. And that was proven in that little bit of a heyday run between late 2007, 3 national titles in there. So it's all valuable, great experiences. And a lot of these guys are lifelong friends of myself.
And 3 national.
I think the most memorable one is probably the middle one where we hosted in Sault Ste Marie. This being able to showcase to our Sault Ste Marie faithful how good we were and playing against the Edmonton Stallions and handling them pretty decisively. But just that experience of having a national championship in Sault Ste Marie. But again, the one year we played Lacombe, Red Deer, Alberta, that was the first one down in Oshawa. They're all great experiences. But I think the best one, because everybody got to be part of it in the Sioux, including my family and my young son, was in Sault Ste Marie because that was just a bonus.
And
guys, something the city can be proud of. They're playing in an established men's football league. It allows players to play after their university days or high school days are done, gives them opportunity. And it really provides an avenue for guys to keep playing in a really competitive, high-focused league. It's probably one of the best ones in Canada, and I would argue it was one of the best ones in North America, but it gives high-quality football and gives them an opportunity to stay in the game. And for those that bodies hold up, they're allowed to play long careers.
And last thing,
I want to say congratulations to all the current and former Steelers, players, staff, fans. It's been a great ride over 50 years. And for the new generation of Steelers, keep it going, because you know what? Everybody knows if you want to win senior men's football championship, you got to play the Sioux. And you know what? Be proud and continue flying the colors.
Matti Tucker, 96 to 2011. Those favorite memory would be the obviously the first championship with us was most memorable because the '96 year, that first year, we probably should have had it then, but that first one that was a big memory, and then obviously the one here in front of our home fans. Well, that's the biggest fan base I've played in front of. I mean, it was 24, 25 degrees that day. Obviously, the outcome, us winning 65-6, I think that was the score. And my buddy Bernetti getting the pick and get a touchdown before half there, and cheers in the crowd, and 2,000 people in the beer tent, 3,500 people around us cheering, and I won't forget it. Where should I start? I mean, there's always Brandon Lewis and Gordy Campbell, arguably the two best defensive tackles I played with in my career, and probably at the time when we won everything, probably the two best in Canada. Josh Gauthier, arguably the top running back from Sault Ste Marie back when we won everything, probably arguably the best running back in Canada. There's the list goes on. Scott Booth, Jason Bernetti, there's Travi, there's Daryl Woods, there's Matt Primo, there's Biagini, there's the list goes on and on. Steve Roberts, Crafty, all the Gauthier brothers. You know what? We had a good group of old guys, young guys, and we gelled. We probably should have won 4 in a row. I mean, it would have been nice to win 4 straight, but you know what? Those 3 championships, it was fun. You know what? Wherever we go with the older gentlemen, Derek Roy and Jordan and Marty Smith and Linklater, all those guys, and even with the new guys now we got coming up with ourselves and the younger guys coming up with Batman and the younger guys. We all played. We're all on the same team. We're all we all know what it's like to be in that family with what it takes to win, what it takes to be part of that. For Sault Ste Marie and everything. It's good to be part of that. You know what I mean? Everybody's all on the same page, and it's a lot of fun. Football landscape. It's got to be right up there, if not the top, because you have your high schools, and everybody's happy with their high schools, whatever school they went to. But then at the end of the day, whether you go to a university or come back here or whatever school you go to, you always come back and play for the Steelers, whatever age. And eventually you're going to be playing with guys you played against, and then you're meeting new guys. And for Sault Ste Marie, I think the city's had 4 titles now, and we've been there 4 times, and we won all 4 titles. So for what that says, that's pretty good football chemistry here in Sault Ste Marie.
Scott Booth. I played 96, 97, 98, 2001, 2002, 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably the first championship in 2007. It was quite the accomplishment. This team, it was something really big to have the guys back, have the team back. It was a lot of fun. From your Stu Waits, Ciotti to the Squinias, things like that. The Tuckers, all the scrubs. It was a lot of fun. Then you get to the years of the championships. Gordy Campbell, Brandon Lewis, Steve Roberts. Again, all the scrubs. A lot of fun. 2010. That was kind of unique. Going out to Red Deer. We played a team, Lloydminster Vandals. They were a younger team. They kind of watched us roll off the bus. We had a little gray in our hair, and a little different what they thought was going to happen. At the dinner the night before, the banquet the night before, they were all buff and worked in really good shape, and they didn't really want to talk to us. And this is our 3rd championship. We knew what the camaraderie was supposed to be like when playing the other teams. They just didn't have that. We played them. We actually, we played really well against them. We dominated, even though it was 3-down football. It was new for us. Josh had a big game, and things went really well, and we won, and they weren't too happy about that. So that's definitely a memory. Sault Ste Marie was phenomenal. The turnout in 2009 was huge. We had the place was packed. The fans were here. It was great to see everybody. Again, you have the coaches, different things. Josh tore it up. Bernetti with an iconic celebration after his interception touchdown. It was just a fantastic atmosphere for everybody involved. For sure, there's lots of us. We do. Some of us still get together quite a bit, but you know what? As soon as you see someone that's played for the Steelers or someone you played with, doesn't matter if you're driving, you're at a stoplight, you stop, you pull over, you see them somewhere, you talk. We've had some occasions where people have gone to the Hall of Fame or just coming to the start of the season. Everybody gets together, and it's like old home week. You know what? I wish it fit in a little better. We need to make sure that you have such a great development with Sault Minor, high school, the whole program with the Cats. We need to make sure that program with the Steelers they should be together. We need to get to that. That needs to evolve, because you know what? Just because you play university or you don't go to university, you need a place to play football. There's lots of guys that play university, myself included. You come back and you play. Football's a great game.
Jonathan Boujou, President and General Manager of the Sault Steelers. Delegate with the league, represent the membership, Sault Steelers membership in the league. So president in that case, general manager, so recruiting, marketing, advertising, getting players registered and filled out with the league. This pretty significant celebration for our team, just considering all the adversity this program's been through over the course of 50 years. For us to still be here as a program years after Len Monaco and Frank Sarlo started this project, it's pretty remarkable when you consider that there was a time in the late 80s, early 90s where we went away, came back for a short time as a Sault Storm in the late 90s, had the adversity of folding in 2017 because of player numbers, and then the pandemic on top of it. Just it's a very proud moment for any of us who have fought to keep this program alive over the course of half a century, to be able to celebrate this with all the players that have made it a pretty well-known name in our community. Yeah, on Saturday, we'll be having a game against our half-century rivals, Sudbury Spartans. To kick off that game, we're going to have a ceremonial coin flip with Len Monaco, Frank Sarlo, and Frank Donnelly. Frank Donnelly, for those who don't know, Len Monaco was the original coach, the coach of the 1972 national champions. Frank Sarlo was the original president. Those two combined started the Sault Steelers program. Frank Donnelly was the play-by-play color commentator for the radio back then, so he would have voiced the first season of Sault Steelers. So they'll be flipping the ceremonial coin flip. We've invited all the generations of Steelers alumni to come and watch the game and cheer on our players. And then upstairs afterwards at our sponsor restaurant, Icebreakers, we'll have all the different generations together for a social to hang out and talk about football and to celebrate the fact that we're still here. And one of the biggest reasons why we're doing this, because it's just, there were so many times where this milestone might have not happened. So many reasons why this program could have gone away. And when you think about the people who fought to keep this program alive, the guys who brought back the Sault Storm in the 90s, people like, Barry Russian, Paul Kolbick, Don McBain, even Marty Smith in the 80s, and players or coaches and executives like that. Brandon Lewis, Steve Hyma as a player played a major role in keeping this program alive over the last 10 years. So there's just a lot of people to celebrate because there was a lot of effort, even monetarily, people put in their own money to keep this program alive, and it's worth celebrating that we've made it this far. I got a lot out of playing football. I think that for me, when I became an adult, I realized how much I missed the sport, and to have had it available to me, it was pretty important, both for my happiness, for my health, all that stuff. It was great to have access to a program like this. And even though I don't play anymore, I know how much it meant to me to be able to play in my 20s, and I want to make sure that is always available to people in this city, because we produce so many good football players. I want to make sure that it's always accessible, that if they ever have that itch to keep playing, that option is there for them. And I like representing Sault Ste Marie. At this level, we've done a great job of being competitive across this country. And I want to keep reminding everyone in Ontario and Canada that football is great in Sault Ste Marie and that we make some significantly good football players. Well, it brings pride. You know, we've won national championships for a community of 75,000 or less people to have won national titles where we're facing cities like Toronto, Montreal, Edmonton, Calgary, major city centers out in Alberta to, you know, it brings a sense of recognition and notoriety. The SaberCats program do a great job of that too. And one day they will win a championship. I have no doubt about that. But for us, it's the ability to put all of the best players together over the course of multiple years. With SaberCats, you can only have 3 years together. With the Steelers, you can put an entire decade of the best players we put together on the field. And it really is a showcase of what the city produces. And I think that inspires young kids to get into the sport. I think that the Sault Steelers players historically have done a good job of falling in love with the sport again and then investing their time in coaching at the youth level because that love's been reinvigorated, right? So I think what it brings to the community is it gets a sense of pride going. It makes kids believe that there's a point in investing and getting good at football because they know they can play for years and years to come. It doesn't just end at SaberCats. It doesn't end at post-secondary. They know that this can be a game for life for them. And I think that the visibility of the Sault Steelers inspires young kids to choose football over other sports maybe and find all the life lessons and benefits that you can have from football. So that's, I think, what we bring to the community is both life lessons and inspiration.
And is there
Just to hope that all of our alumni can make it. This really is a celebration of bringing all the generations together. We all have our part to play in keeping this program alive. Without the players that have been here over the years, we wouldn't have made 50 years. So I just hope that the different generations can meet each other, can bond over the things that they shared with their experiences in this team. And hopefully we can all talk about how we can keep this program alive for another 50 years and successful over the course of the next 50 years as well.
well?
My name is Jim Monico. I played only in 1986, 87. Well, I was just finishing high school when I decided to play, and it was a lot of fun, and it was nice to see. Got to play with a lot of older guys that are good guys still around the football community in the Sioux. I got to play against men. It was a big step up from playing high school football. Just was a lot of fun. I wanted to go back the next year. Then we ended up folding for a little while, and then the Steelers came back later on, and I was just beyond playing at that point in time. But I really enjoyed my time there. Oh, most of my memorable moments are off the field, but I remember early on we started out the season really well. We finished it really poorly, but we beat Sudbury, and it had been a while before the Steelers had beaten Sudbury in Sudbury, and we beat them early in the year there, and that was pretty fun, so it was nice. Oh, we had a lot of great ones. I mean, a lot of the guys I sit around now, you know, I play with a lot of guys at ref now, Jim Corelli and Rocky DiPietro, those guys, they were great to play with, great guys. You know, the late Jamie Baiocchi was fantastic to play with, lots of fun. Jimmy McIntosh, Mark Ciotti. I always tell people Mark Ciotti is one of the best players I ever got to be around the sport with. A great player. Lots of guys. I'm forgetting a lot of names now, but a lot of great guys. Lots of laughs. Well, my dad was a founding member of the Steelers in 1972. He was their first head coach. He was head coach for about 8 years there. I was at the game in '72. I would have been 4 years old. I don't remember any.
Played for the Sault Steelers between 1980. 2010 on and off, and had a great experience. Loved it. Oh man, the biggest one that stands out is our first championship in 2007, and it was the 2009 championship at home. The difference was I was much more involved as a player in 2007, but it was amazing, and how well they represented everybody, and just it was amazing. Nobody's seen that kind of event in this league, before or after. Oh man, there's so many, and great players too. in the 80s, a small but mighty team that didn't win much, but people were very, very afraid of us. Jamie Baaki, I mean, he was a fantastic. There's a lot of things that wouldn't be happening in Sioux football today. At that point, we eat him back. Doug Jackson was an amazing football player. Jimmy McIntosh into the Sioux Storm with me when we came back in 1996, and still could play the game. We're all good friends. Teddy Maniaco in the 80s. So many people. I mean, it's hard to stop. Louis Cassola is one of the best football players I've ever played with anywhere. You know, from 1996 on. I mean, Robbie Zagordo was an amazing quarterback. Then, of course, I mean, you can't do anything without mentioning Brandon Lewis. Brandon's, I mean, the all-star. You know, I heard now that he's even dressing again, which is great because he's got to be close to my age when I retired. And, you know, Josh Gaucher's got to be one of the best running backs I've ever seen. Unfortunately, didn't get the shots that he deserved. Ronnie Kelly, I mean, we had such a great receiving core. Gordy Campbell, again, Brandon is one thing, but to have two, you know, have a Brandon and Gordy next to each other is absolutely amazing. Linebacking core that we had was, and then DBs. I mean, we just had an amazing team. Excuse me. Best is the first. 2007. People still didn't believe we could do it, except we knew we could do it. Nobody else did. So I mean, it was amazing, and just a fantastic team. 2009 when we hosted, an equally but different amazing experience because we did it, and to do that is something super special. To have your friends, family come and see you play, and to be able to win and do what we did. Anyway, come on, we're a city of at the time. Excuse me, and we won 3 out of 4 years. Absolutely. I mean, football is that sport, right? You hate to use analogies of war, especially in today. I mean, you go to the trenches with these guys, you battle and I mean, you know more about these people than a lot of their families do. So, I mean, is it bad? And I maintain that, you know, in 2007, it wasn't until we were able to bring that together that, you know, it took a few years to do it, starting before that. But we became family. That's when we became a serious contender. Oh man, I think they're everything for football. I mean, you know, without the Sault Steelers starting, you know, with the old guys, with Mac and Derek and all. I mean, who knows what kind of football we'll be playing in the Sault? It's you know, of all of the after high school teams, and you know, now we've infrastructure because of everything else. Yeah, I mean, the Sault Steelers and the Sioux are, I mean, in most of our opinion that have ever played for the Steelers can't separate that. You know, if you joke about it and say it's a lot of events because of the Steelers, and wouldn't change it. Right there.
My name is Jim Corelli, 83 to 89. Family. That's all I got to say. My best memory, family. There's so many great players I play with. Jimmy McIntosh, Steve Jackson, Steve Perigas, Paul Kalbick, Teddy Maniaco, Mike Prentice, probably one of the greatest Steelers as a legend, Danny Pucka, Plastino, Robin Woods, Scott Woods, Rob Grev. I mean, the list goes on. These guys were like, they're still my family. Jamie Bayaki, if I haven't mentioned him, I have to mention him twice because he's like a legend with the Steelers. Dick Joy as a coach. There's so many guys. I hope I know I missed so many of them. And I hope that Idolo Barone, Tony Ficacello, in high school football and university football. Like, they were so good. I can tell you a funny moment. We played in Oakville, and it was like 100. It was warmer than it has been now. And if anybody knows Randy Ingy Smith, he was a character. Anyways, we used to have to drive down. We would drive down. Sometimes we would drive down because we had a team bus, but it wasn't working. Anyways, we played a hell of a game, and we had a party after, like, fifth quarters were unbelievable. Anyways, Scott Woods' car, and there was like 5 people in the car, and we got to North Bay, and Randy drove from Oakville to North Bay. He didn't know it was a standard. He drove in first gear the whole way. All the way to North Bay from Oakville. That's a pretty funny moment. There's so many funny stories. Like, you can't hit on one over another. Like, we had a team bus where guys, like, if you had to go to the washroom, a player would hold you as you opened the front door, and you would pee as you were driving down the highway. Yeah. I mean, we were a family. I mean, there's no question about it. There's so many great stories. But when we showed up, teams knew that we came to play. I had the opportunity to officiate that game. I was so excited to do that game. But as you know, as being a Steeler, you still have to be neutral. It was so exciting to be on that field. I wish many of the young people could have experienced that. Barry Russian, Paul Kalbick, and the organizing committee was phenomenal. The game was unbelievable. The place was surrounded. It looked like Iverwind Stadium in Sault Ste Marie. It was what the Steelers did. You can never repeat compared to where they came from, but the cities just stepped up. It was unbelievable. And I had the opportunity to ref that game. Yes, I did. The Sault Steelers program brings to Sault Ste Marie, I think, 3 things. I think the first thing is Sault Ste Marie is a family representation of the city. We are known. The second thing is it brings to the rest of Ontario to know that we are athletes up here. And that when you come to play Sault Ste Marie, you better bring your A game. No matter what the score is, we are coming to play. There's no question about it. And the third thing, what it brings to, I think, Sault Ste Marie, I'll go back to family one more time. When you play for the Sault Steelers, you were a Steeler for life. No matter if you have your differences at times, you will always be friends for life. And I think that's the biggest thing. I want to end one thing, though, Jay, and I never got to say this. I want to say it now. Sault Steelers have been around, and I've heard about a lot of things. But I want to give a tribute to Jamie Bayaki, who was probably one of the greatest friends and one of the best Steelers. He may not have been an all-star in a lot of ways. I never saw a guy run backwards as fast as most people can run forwards. But Jamie Bayaki personified our 6 years. We miss him. We love him. And I think we still today, our Steeler days, and the Steelers that go on in the future, I wish that they can be a Jamie Bayaki player.